Hello, good afternoon, everybody. How are you today? I'm hoping you're having a very awesome week so far. And today we're going to be talking about that saying, you're as strong as the weakest link. So hi, hello, my name is Angela Hearn. We are live now. Let's get rid of that. I'm Angela Hearn. I'm a certified canine athlete specialist with the Biokinetic Canine, and I'm here to help you discover how you can improve your dog's performance and make him that awesome thing that he already is, but to show it off to the world. All right, so when it comes to as strong as the weakest link, what does this tell you? If you break it down for any human being, your strengths in athletes, for athletes or anything that you're doing, you're looking at the food that you take in, how you perform your movements, your thoughts, your mind. This is very important. And of course, the knowledge that you've got in order to do the sport that you do. So if we take those 4 items, and we are going to be removing just the food, because food is another category altogether. That's a whole new episode. But if we take just movement, thoughts, and knowledge, that we have control over with our dogs too. And how can we get these things to help our dogs? So we have to identify the factors that involve movement, thoughts, and knowledge, and then take care of them. And if we can take care of those factors, those weak links, they no longer around. All right, so how do we go about it? Well, there is a not so secret blueprint for every body and every dog's body and on how it functions. This secret blueprint it determines the successes or failures within a sport, especially for your top athletes, where they're performing a exercise or they're competing in something, and that success or failure is determined within a split second. It's something that tells the nerves which muscles to contract and which muscles to relax, and how much strength to use at that particular moment, and in what order all of this works. And the not so secret blueprint is muscle memory. And if you think about it, if you're doing anything new, like me, I am very, how you would say, onhandig in Afrikaans. So that means that you're not very, I'm not very good at doing new physical things. I have to teach my body particularly in order to do a new thing. So if I have to just go and do dancing, like my sister's an awesome dancer, one of the best ever. But if I have to go and do those things, I would have to really concentrate every part of my body to do it. So when she just goes step, ball, change, I'm thinking first the step, what is the ball and how do I change it? But it comes naturally to her. My father, bodybuilder, my brother, third Dan karate, when they do something, they don't even have to think about what they're doing. Their muscles just know, and they know exact amount of impact and strength to use in order to get the right speed to a certain point or target. If I have to go and learn now just to do a clean and jerk, oh my word, there's a comedy show waiting to happen. So when it comes to muscle memory, for me, it is a conscious, deliberate thing when I'm learning something new with my body. And this has helped me tremendously, because I've always had to think about what I'm doing with my body. Where with some people, they're quite dexterous and they're quite handy, they move easily and they just have to watch something and they can do it. But not so much me. So that not so secret blueprint is muscle memory. And how does muscle memory happen? It happens through, if you take you doing something, if you do something often enough, the brain will go, oh, this is something I better remember for Angela because she's using it all the time. So let me remember the layers of the movement, and it's there, it's set for her. So repetition causes muscle memory to set in. If we repeat something often enough, your brain assumes that it's really important and it must record it. But whether this is a healthy movement or not, and that there becomes the trick now, especially when it comes to our dogs. Because when we are training our dogs, we are in charge of the movements required of our dog. So when we tell our dog to sit down, run or do fast pace on the move, etc., in sport, every dog can run, every dog can sit, and every dog can lie down, but we're asking them to do it on command and in a particular way. But when we are training for sport, especially if any sport has got to do with healing, etc., it's a repetitive movement. So if we are asking them to walk in a certain way, like in this heel pattern all the time, the dog starts to develop muscle memory for that. And the muscle memory that you're asking your dog to remember, or its body to remember, is it good for him or is it bad for him? So if you are training for sports in particular, every sport has got a repetitive movement. Every sport, whether it comes to dock diving, IGP in the various stages of IGP or disciplines, normal rally obedience, agility, every sport has got a repetitive movement, and we all train for our sport. So we are reinforcing those repetitive movements all the time. And we train with a trainer, and the trainer will tell you if your dog is looking right or not quite so. But those movements are being enforced and repeated all the time on that body. So that body goes on to, oh, these are the muscles that I must work all the time. And it's not necessarily balanced in the dog's body. If he's doing competition heel work, just for a small example, that position doesn't encourage balanced muscle development. So the muscles are, there's across the midline where one side's muscles will be bigger than others, there's strains, etc. So muscle memory happens whether it is balanced or not. So good muscle memory will keep the body moving in comfort and grace. You'll see if you've got good muscle memory on an exercise, everything happens effortless. If you look at a gymnast or a dancer, when I watch somebody that's doing something really well on my TV, if they're doing it really well, it looks like, oh my word, that's so easy, I can do it in my own lounge. And then you try, and you really start to see exactly the work that has gone into those people and their sport. So good muscle memory keeps the body moving comfortably, oh my word, my English, comfortably and with grace, and it looks like an effortless movement. But bad muscle memory, that's when things go wrong. So bad muscle memory is simply, it's the wrong signals being sent to the nerves and to the muscles. So the nerves for heel work, we want these muscles to contract and these muscles to relax. We want these muscles to have power, those muscles not to have so much power in order to hold this position. It's a bad muscle memory. It's awesome for obedience, but it's not good for the dog. And when it comes to bad muscle memory, there are 3 problems that your dog will experience. And I want to show you how this bad muscle memory contributes to early injuries. So with number 1, with bad muscle memories, all the muscles are contracted all day. Those muscles that are in effect, they are contracted all day. So if you have to walk around and there's this contraction all day, like when you have a knot in your back, but it's there all the time, because that's the muscle memory. So the side effects is pain and injury, from a dull ache to a real searing pain. That's how sore that pain can be. But because the muscles are contracted all the time, it's as if the body is in a workout all day. So it drains their energy, and if their energy is drained, they don't have the fuel to do the work that they need to do. And this contraction happens even while they're sleeping. So there's no reprieve. There's no break from this constant tension. of course, this constant tension, this constant contraction on the muscles will then also put strain and compression on the joints, because everything's out of kilter. So the body and the skeleton and the joints have to compensate some other way. So there's compensations throughout the body. So certain parts of the body are overworked, certain parts of the body are underworked, and that's the dog's body all the time, 24/7. When the muscles are contracted all the time, you are restricting the blood flow in those areas. And when you restrict the blood flow, when you restrict the blood flow in areas, you're also restricting the oxygen uptake to the muscles that need it. Not only the oxygen, but also the nutrients. It can't get into the muscles. The muscles are blocked. So constricted muscles, or contracted muscles rather, causes constricted blood flows, and this causes oxygen levels to deplete into the areas that require it. Nutrients can't get in there, but also no metabolic waste can come out. And this is what causes weaknesses in the areas of these muscle contractions. So wherever there's weaknesses, there's a slow recovery. After you've trained your dog, the dog battles to recover more and more. The recovery period becomes longer and longer, and the movement of the dogs become clunky, creaky, and it's just not this smooth grace anymore. And of course, it ends up with loss of function of certain areas of the body. And it could be small areas which you are not seeing, but we're still pushing our dogs and we're still training them. That's not a problem. So contracted muscles, it causes weaknesses in the muscles. But this constant contraction also causes a buildup of hydrogen ions. And these hydrogen ions, they light up pain receptors. So what used to be loads of fun for your dog to do, and it's working, and oh wow, it's now not so grand. It'll still go out, and a dog always wants to work for you, always. But it's a little bit more sore each time. And you don't know where, how come, what for. And because of this constant buildup of hydrogen ions and this constant pain levels, etc., the dog will try and adjust itself in the movements just to try and find comfort. And the comfort just doesn't come because the muscle memory is set in. It's already started that muscle contraction on those areas. So the consequences of bad muscle memory is that it is a 24/7 workout for the dog's body, all the time, for the dog or the human, if you are involved in sport as well. If you've got bad muscle memory, all of these things apply to you. So it will only take a small thing to suddenly throw your back out. So you were fine and then you sneezed and you tweaked a muscle in your back, or you went to pick up paper off the floor and you hurt something in your back. And old injuries will now start to come to the fore. And you've done nothing unusual. You've done the same thing you've been doing all the time. So you've been exercising, you've been doing the same exercise you've been doing 1,000 times before, no problem, and all of a sudden you've got this injury. It's because your muscle memory base was incorrect. How can we sort this out? What can you do for your dog? What muscle memory are you giving your dog? This is the big thing. So when I was training my dog, the muscle memory I was giving her was exactly what I was told. And it's not a fault of trainers. It's not a fault of a sport. It's the same with human sports and trainers. Nobody is going to be looking, if you are doing, say, for example, IGP or obedience, and you require a fast sit. Nobody is going to worry about how your dog sits, so long as it's fast. And the dog will get there from bum to the ground in any which way it knows how. And because you're asking it to do it all the time, that's the muscle memory. And if you think about it, for a dog to sit fast, it's going to not use some muscles. So there's some muscles that don't even get to use, they just weak, so the bum can just drop. And then what happens? Those muscles that are not being used all the time, they are the weakness for when your dog is going to be excelling and is now going to be at the height of his sporting career. He's carrying that weakness, and then when you push that exercise, suddenly there's an injury. I know, I speak from experience. It's the same with humans, or with even when I tell some of my clients, just let the dog go and turn slowly, because we want to make sure that they move their legs on purpose. If you spin a dog fast, it hops around. It doesn't use its back legs individually or its front legs individually. It just jumps back legs and jumps front legs. It doesn't use that crossover of legs. So when it jumps, it's not using the muscles that are required to cross the legs, and those muscles never get developed. But that's a muscle memory that it develops. We've all seen those flash when a dog comes into heel and then they must finish and they just hop to the side and they are in heel. It's this big flash movement. But how many muscles are not being used every time you ask your dog to heel from the front? Every time. So now when the dog has to fight a handler, those muscles that are required to turn the dog to your side have never been used. And then all of a sudden you have a muscle sprain. That is the dangers of bad muscle memory. But that's why we are here. This is why I love my job. I love to work with these dogs and to make sure that the right muscles are working for the sport that they do. The sports that they do cause imbalances. It's not the fault of the sport. It's not the fault of the dog. It's not the fault of the trainer. It just so happens. But what you can control is how you are able to balance out those muscles and make sure that all the muscles that is required to work are working. What happens then in the end is that you have awesome displays of power because all the muscles are working. You have, oh my word, it is the most beautiful thing to see. If a dog can spin its body on purpose with all its muscles, not just hop, hop, hop. If a dog can turn with power, not just try and get there quickly with his body, but turn on purpose with power in agility, that's when you see the beauty and you stand back in awe and you go, oh, wow. So what is the strongest? You're as strong as your weakest link, as we've said in the beginning. Like I said, you manage your dog. You manage his foods, his movements, your thoughts. They know what you're thinking. I know that they do. And your knowledge. So what can you do? Improve your knowledge. That's why we've got our membership that is on a founders opening membership price just for now. You can join and learn all of these things. Be with us. We do all the live webinars. We discuss your dog. We discuss people's dogs. We discuss our sports and how we can fix our dogs, or not fix our dogs, but make sure that they don't get broken. That's the most important thing. We can identify areas of weakness in the dogs and make them strong, but properly so that they are strong for life. Because when a dog has got the right muscle memory for life, should there be any injury in the future, it's the fastest road to recovery. It is, where was it? It was a Dr. Kramer, William Kramer. He's a sports scientist. He said that correct muscle memory is the fastest way to recover from an injury. And I've seen that even with my knee operation. I've seen it. If you don't have the proper muscle memory, it takes a long time. But when those muscles are there and they know how to stabilize a knee, your recovery is much faster. And this is what we want to do with your dogs. So if you find this video helpful, please send me links in the comments and say, hi, Angela, and etc., etc. If you want to know more, go onto our page. We are at, let me go here, biokineticcanine.com. You can read about what we do. Send me an email or send me a direct message if you want to learn more, and go and learn about our membership, guys. It's only for the month of June. It will be going to its normal price. We brought the price down because we want you guys to come in and develop it with me, and I will give you all my information. Stay on for as long as you like. Leave whenever you want to leave. No contracts or anything like that. It's just, I want your dog to be the best that it can be, and healthily so. So, yeah, have a very, very good weekend. Give your dogs the hugs and kisses that they deserve. And also go and have a look in our group. We are running a 5-day challenge. So if you're not too sure about working with our membership, go have a look at the challenge. It's for 5 days. We're starting on the 15th of June. You have to register in the group, and on the 15th of June, we start with day 0, because we have to start with day 0. Why just start with day 1? We have an extra day. So it's from day 0 to day 5, where we will be doing various exercises, posting them, discussing them, and looking at the dogs. It's a 5-day challenge. I'm doing it from my crutches, so it's to show you guys that you don't have to be super mobile handler in order to do fitness with your dog, but you can still have fun with them. All right, so have a very good weekend, and I hope to see you on the other side. Also, remember, if you've got any comments, please send them in, put them in the comment boxes below. And if you need any help with anything, I'm always there. All right. Have a good weekend. Cheers now.